All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to unlock what I call the growth code. We're digging into 6 incredibly powerful lessons for personal growth, and we're drawing our inspiration from a practice that has shaped lives for, get this, over 1,400 years, the daily Islamic prayer. But, and this is important, you don't have to be religious at all to get a ton of value from this. These are universal principles for building a stronger, more disciplined life for anyone. So let's jump in.
So that brings us to the big question, right? In our age of constant life hacks, new apps, and productivity gurus, what can a ritual that's been around for centuries really teach us about growing today in the 21st century? Well, the answer, as you're about to see, is a whole lot. It's surprisingly relevant.
And here's the promise for our time together. We're going to break it all down into 6 practical, universal lessons. Think of it as a framework for building a better version of yourself, one that you can literally start using the minute this is over, no matter who you are or where you're starting from. Okay, first up, the power of action. This is so fundamental because real growth isn't built on just thinking or wishing. Nope, it's built on doing. This is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. So, lesson number 1 is consistency. And it's not about this huge grand gestures that you do once and then burn out. It's about the simple, almost boring, but incredibly powerful act of just showing up every single day, whether it's for journaling, a workout, or even just a moment of quiet reflection. It's that daily repetition. That's what forges real character over time. And this is where the magic really happens. It's the compounding effect in action. You see how it works? It starts with just one small, manageable act. Then you repeat it, and you repeat it again tomorrow. Before you know it, those tiny little efforts start to build on each other, creating this momentum that can literally change who you are at your core. It's probably the most reliable path to transformation there is. You know, this brings us to a huge mental shift around the word discipline. So many of us hear that word and we think of a cage, right? Restrictions, rules, things we can't do. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if discipline is actually freedom? It's the structure you choose to build for yourself that gives you the power to become the person you actually want to be. It's not a cage, it's the key. Okay, but action is only half the battle. Action without any direction is just, well, it's just wasted energy. And that brings us to our second pillar, the power of clarity. This is all about sharpening your mind so that every action you take has a real, meaningful impact. I mean, just look at this chart. Doesn't this perfectly capture the modern brain on any given day? Our energy is constantly being hijacked by distractions, by notifications, leaving this tiny little sliver for what truly matters to us. The practice of focus, like taking even 5 minutes of quiet, uninterrupted time, it teaches you how to consciously block out all that noise and point your energy where it's actually going to make a difference. And a huge part of gaining that clarity comes down to this simple, powerful truth. Reflection is gold. You know, growth doesn't just come from the doing. It comes from pausing to understand what you've done. Those quiet moments where you just review your day, that's where the real insights are found. That's where you find the clues to move forward smarter. And to make reflection super practical, here is one of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself at the end of each day. It's not, did I succeed or did I win? It's much simpler. Did I do my best today? That's it. This one question, asked honestly, builds incredible self-awareness, it keeps you accountable to yourself, and it sets you up to be just that little bit better tomorrow. Okay, so we've got action and we have clarity. The final piece of the puzzle is the engine that drives the whole thing, and that is the power of mindset. This is the internal fuel you need for the journey. The first mindset we need is humility, and this quote just captures the feeling of it so beautifully. Walking upon the earth easily. That isn't about being weak or timid. It's about having a quiet confidence that doesn't need to be loud. Humility is simply acknowledging that you don't have all the answers. And that, right there, is the essential first step to learning absolutely anything new. And look, this is exactly why humility is so critical. Because being open to feedback is the #1 accelerator for growth, period. Humility isn't weakness, it's the strength to actually listen to others, to look at yourself honestly, and to genuinely seek improvement. Without it, you're just stuck. Now, our second core mindset is gratitude. And I want you to stop thinking of gratitude as just a passive, nice feeling. It's not. It's active. It's fuel. When you consciously take a moment to appreciate what you have, it literally boosts your motivation, it deepens your relationships, and it builds the resilience you need to handle pretty much any setback life throws at you.
So we've walked through the power of action, the power of clarity, and the power of mindset. Now let's bring all these pieces together and take a look at the journey forward.
So here they are, all together, the 6 pillars of the growth code. You've got consistency and self-discipline to build that solid foundation. You have focus and reflection to sharpen your direction and make sure you're on the right path. And finally, you've got humility and gratitude to fuel your spirit for the long haul. You see how they all work together? It's a powerful, sustainable system for real personal growth. So let's end with this. At the end of the day, growth isn't an accident. It's not something that just happens to you. It's a choice. The habits you're building today, right now, are the literal building blocks of the person you are becoming tomorrow. So the only question left to ask is, who are you choosing to become?